The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with activity. Hundreds of alien species, each more exotic than the last, filled the massive chamber. Some floated on anti-gravity platforms, others slithered across the polished floor, and a few even phased in and out of reality. At the center of it all stood the Council's high chair, Zorblax the Wise. Zorblax's tentacles writhed with excitement as he called the meeting to order. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, he gurgled through his speech translator. Today we gather to discuss a matter of utmost importance. The chamber fell silent, all eyes, or sensory organs, fixed on Zorblax. The primitive species known as humans, Zorblax continued, has begun to expand beyond their home system. They pose a potential threat to our galactic order. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The Vexlors, a race of crystalline beings, chimed in disapproval. The gelatinous bloobs quivered with concern. Ambassador Krillic of the warrior Zarthak race stepped forward. High Chair Zorblax, surely you jest. These humans are barely out of their stone age. What threat could they possibly pose? Zorblax's tentacles twisted in amusement. Ah, Krillic, your bravery is matched only by your ignorance. While the humans may seem primitive, their rate of technological advancement is unsettling. He gestured to a holographic display. Images of Earth's history flashed by, from the first flight to the moon landing, from the internet to the first interstellar probe. In mere centuries, Zorblax explained, they've gone from horse-drawn carriages to faster-than-light travel. No other species in our records has progressed so rapidly. The council members shifted uncomfortably. Such quick advancement was unheard of. Krillic scoffed. So they're quick learners. We can simply restrict their access to advanced technology. Problem solved. Zorblax's eyes narrowed. If only it were so simple. The humans have a knack for reverse engineering any technology they encounter. Moreover, their creativity in applying that knowledge is troubling. He displayed another hologram, this time showing human warships. They were crude by council standards, but bristling with weapons. They call this their defense fleet, Zorblax said. Imagine what they might build if they felt truly threatened. The chamber erupted in worried chatter. The Vexlor's chimes became a cacophony of alarm. The bloobs merged into a giant, anxious mass. Ambassador Alara of the peaceful Lumina spoke up, her voice like soft chimes. Surely we can welcome them into the galactic community, guide them towards peace. Zorblax shook his head. We've observed their communication channels. They're paranoid, convinced that any alien life would be hostile. They prepare for war even as they reach for the stars. He paused, letting the gravity of the situation sink in. There's more, Zorblax continued. Our deep cover agents report that humans have a dangerous concept they call fiction. They imagine countless scenarios of conflict with alien life, always emerging victorious. It's as if they're planning for a war that hasn't even begun. The council was in an uproar now. Calls for action echoed through the chamber. Krillic stepped forward again. Enough talk. We must crush these humans before they become a real threat. A swift, overwhelming attack will put them in their place. To everyone's surprise, Zorblax nodded. For once, Krillic, we agree. The human threat must be neutralized. He turned to address the entire council. I propose a preemptive strike on all known human colonies. We will demonstrate our power and force them to submit to council authority. The vote was quick and nearly unanimous. Only the Lumina abstained, their soft protests drowned out by the war cries of the Zarthak and the eager chimes of the Vexlors. As the council adjourned, none of them noticed the small, unassuming creature slipping out of the chamber. To any observer, it appeared to be a harmless maintenance drone. In reality, it was Lieutenant Jane Cooper of Earth's Secret Space Intelligence Service. Her holographic disguise hid her racing heart and clenched fists. As soon as she was clear, she activated her quantum communicator. Control, this is Cosmic Mole. The council has voted. We were right. They're coming for us. The response was immediate. Understood, Cosmic Mole. Initiating Operation Sleeping Giant. Get to your extraction point. And Jane, good luck. We're all going to need it. As Jane made her way to her hidden ship, alarms began to blare throughout the Council station. Her cover was blown, but it didn't matter now. The die was cast. The Galactic Council, in its arrogance, had just awakened the sleeping giant. Humanity would soon show them the true meaning of retaliation. The skies above New Terra, humanity's most populous colony, were peaceful. Children played in parks under purple-tinged clouds, while adults went about their daily lives. None of them knew that their world was about to change forever. High in orbit, hidden behind the planet's largest moon, a fleet of Galactic Council warships shimmered into existence. Leading the armada was High Commander Krullik of the Zarthak, eager to crush the human threat. All ships, prepare for attack, Krullik growled into the comm. Remember, we want to subdue, not obliterate. The Council needs these humans alive to serve as an example. The fleet moved silently towards New Terra, their stealth fields masking their approach. On the planet's surface, the first sign of trouble came when all communications suddenly went dead. In the colony's control center, Governor Sarah Chen frowned at her blank screens. What's going on? Get our systems back online now. Before anyone could respond, the sky lit up with fire. Council ships rained down energy blasts, targeting key infrastructure. Defense installations, power plants, and spaceports erupted in flames. Panic spread through the streets as colonists ran for shelter. Emergency sirens wailed, their sound almost drowned out by the explosions rocking the city. Krullik watched the chaos with satisfaction. See how they run, he sneered. These humans are no match for our might. But as the smoke began to clear, Krullik's confidence wavered. The humans were not cowering in fear as he had expected. Instead, they were organizing. In the shattered remains of the control center, Governor Chen barked orders. Activate the planetary shield. Launch our defense fleet. To Krullik's shock, a shimmering energy barrier began to form around the planet. Hidden silos opened in the ground, releasing swarms of sleek, deadly-looking fighters. Impossible, Krullik roared. Their technology is primitive. They shouldn't have planetary shields or such advanced ships. On the surface, the human colonists were far from helpless. Many pulled out hidden weapons, their bodies suddenly encased in powered armor that seemed to appear out of nowhere. Governor Chen smiled grimly as she donned her own combat suit. You picked the wrong species to underestimate, she muttered. The human counterattack was swift and brutal. Their fighters, though outnumbered, moved with impossible speed and precision. They danced around the Council ships, exploiting weaknesses the aliens didn't even know they had. Krullik watched in horror as his fleet began to crumble. How? How are they doing this? The answer came in a transmission that cut through the Council's encrypted channels. A human face appeared on Krullik's screen. Jane Cooper, the spy who had infiltrated the Council. Surprised, Commander. Jane's voice was cold. You should have done your homework. Humanity has been preparing for this day for centuries. Krullik's mandibles clicked in fury. You knew we were coming. Jane's laugh was without humor. We've known aliens existed since before we reached the stars. We intercepted your transmissions, studied your technology. Every advancement we showed you was carefully crafted to make us look weak. On New Terra, the tide had turned. Human soldiers, their armor now clearly more advanced than anything the Council possessed, were boarding and capturing alien ships. You see, Commander, Jane continued, all our fiction, all our paranoia that you mocked. It was preparation. We've imagined every possible way this encounter could go, and we've planned for all of them. Krullik's ship rocked as human weapons fire breached its hull. This is impossible. You're nothing but primitives. No, Jane corrected him. We're survivors. We're innovators. And now, thanks to your unprovoked attack, we're your worst nightmare. Governor Chen's voice cut in. This is Governor Sarah Chen of New Terra to all Council forces. Your attack has failed. Surrender now or face annihilation. Across the battlefield, Council ships began powering down, their crews realizing the futility of their mission. Krillic, however, was not ready to admit defeat. Never. He snarled, directing his ship towards the planet's surface. I'll destroy your cities myself. But he never got the chance. A precise shot from a human dreadnought split his ship in two, vaporizing the proud Zarthak commander in an instant. As the last of the Council fleet surrendered, Governor Chen looked out over her battered but unbroken world. Send word to Earth, she ordered. Tell them, the sleeping giant has awoken, and it's time for payback. Across the galaxy, humanity's hidden fleets emerged from secret bases. The counterattack was about to begin, and the Galactic Council had no idea what was coming for them. As news of the failed attack on New Terra spread, panic gripped the Galactic Council. Emergency meetings were called, fingers were pointed, and accusations flew. But amidst the chaos, one question burned in every alien mind. How had the humans become so powerful? The answer lay deep within Earth's moon, in a top-secret facility known as Luna Base Alpha. Here, the brightest minds of humanity had worked for decades, hidden from both their own people and alien eyes. Dr. Evelyn Zhao, the lead scientist of Project Prometheus, stood before a group of military leaders. Behind her loomed a massive quantum computer, its crystalline structure pulsing with otherworldly energy. Gentlemen, Dr. Zhao began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. What you're looking at is the culmination of a century's work. We call it the Prometheus engine. General Marcus Steele, a grizzled veteran of Earth's hidden wars, leaned forward. Skip the science lesson, Doc. Tell us how this thing let us kick alien butt. Dr. Zhao smiled. Simply put, General, Prometheus is an artificial intelligence unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen. It's been analyzing every scrap of alien tech we've gathered over the last 100 years. She tapped a few commands, and holographic displays sprang to life around the room. They showed schematics of advanced weapons, shields, and propulsion systems. Prometheus doesn't just understand alien technology, Dr. Zhao continued. It improves upon it, combines it in ways its original creators never imagined. Every piece of human tech that shocked the Council today, it came from here. The military leaders murmured in awe. Admiral Chen, mother of New Terra's governor, spoke up, and the Council never suspected. Dr. Zhao shook her head. We were careful. Released our advancements slowly, always maintaining a facade of being just a step behind the galactic average. Until today. General Steele grinned. And now the gloves come off. So, Doc, what else has this Prometheus cooked up for us? Before Dr. Zhao could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. A young lieutenant burst into the room, his face pale. Sirs, we've detected a massive Council fleet heading for Earth. They must be retaliating for New Terra. The room erupted in activity, but Dr. Zhao remained calm. She turned to the Prometheus engine, its lights pulsing faster now. Prometheus, initiate Operation Thunderbolt. The AI's voice, deep and resonant, filled the room. Operation Thunderbolt initiated, Dr. Zhao. Activating Global Defense Grid, deploying Solar System Defense Fleet, initiating counteroffensive protocols. On screens around the room, they watched as Earth transformed. Hidden installations around the planet hummed to life. A shimmering energy shield enveloped the entire world. From secret bases on Mars, Jupiter's moons, and the asteroid belt, swarms of advanced human ships emerged. Admiral Chen whistled. Would have been nice to know we had all this. Compartmentalization. Admiral, Dr. Zhao replied. The Council had spies everywhere. The fewer who knew, the safer we were. As they watched, the Council's fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Saturn. It was an armada that could have laid waste to a dozen worlds. But humanity was ready. Prometheus's voice rang out again, initiating phase shift technology, deploying quantum disruptors. activating gravity lance weapons. The human fleet seemed to flicker and dance, becoming hard for even their own sensors to track. Beams of concentrated gravitational force lanced out, tearing council ships apart. Waves of energy rippled across space, shutting down alien systems. In the council fleet, High Chair Zorblax watched in horror as his mighty armada crumbled. "What are these demons?" he gurgled in panic. "How can they wield such power?" Back on Luna Base Alpha, the human leaders watched their victory unfold. General Steele turned to Dr. Zhao. "I hope you've got a plan for what comes next, Doc. The galaxy's about to change, and we're holding the biggest stick." Dr. Zhao nodded solemnly. "Prometheus has run millions of simulations, General. The path forward is clear. It's time for humanity to take its place as guardians of the galaxy." As the last of the council ships fell or fled, Earth's fleet began to move out. The counter-invasion was about to begin, and the Galactic Council was about to learn the true meaning of awakening a sleeping giant. Humanity's march to the stars had begun in earnest, and the galaxy would never be the same. The vast emptiness of space was suddenly filled with the impressive sight of the human fleet. Thousands of ships, each a marvel of technology, moved in perfect formation. At the head of this armada was the HSS Nemesis, Earth's most advanced warship. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Admiral Sarah Chen stood tall, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of their first target, Zenfra Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Council. "All ships report ready, Admiral," her XO announced. Chen nodded. "Then let's introduce ourselves properly to the Council. Commence Operation Stormbreak." Across the fleet, soldiers and pilots prepared for battle. But this was no ordinary invasion force. Alongside the military personnel were diplomats, scientists, and even teachers. Humanity's plan was not just to conquer, but to reshape the galaxy. As the fleet approached Zenfra Prime, they were met with a pitiful defense. The Council, still reeling from their defeat at Earth, had barely managed to scrape together a few dozen ships. Admiral Chen opened a channel to the planet. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Human Alliance. Your unprovoked attack on our worlds has forced our hand. Surrender now, and we promise fair treatment." On Zenfra Prime, panic reigned. The Council members, once so proud and assured of their superiority, now scrambled like frightened children. High Chair Zorblax, his tentacles quivering, addressed his fellow council members. "We have no choice. We must surrender." But not everyone agreed. Ambassador Krax of the warlike Vorlak species snarled in defiance. "Never. We are the Galactic Council. We do not bow to primitives." Before anyone could stop him, Krax activated the planet's automated defense system. Massive cannons emerged from hidden bunkers, firing upon the human fleet. Admiral Chen sighed as she watched the energy blasts dissipate harmlessly against their shields. "So be it. All ships, initiate the Thunderclap Protocol." Across the human fleet, special emitters powered up. They released a carefully modulated energy wave that washed over Zenfra Prime. In an instant, every piece of advanced technology on the planet simply stopped. On the surface, the Council members watched in horror as their world went dark. Vehicles stopped, computers died, even their personal translators fell silent. Ambassador Alara of the peaceful Lumina turned to Zorblax. "What have you done?" she asked, her melodious voice filled with sorrow. "Your pride has doomed us all." But as the human ships began to land, a surprise awaited the terrified aliens. Instead of conquering armies, the first to emerge were medical teams and aid workers. Dr. Kamala Patel, head of the Human Diplomatic Corps, approached the council chamber. Using a universal translator, she addressed the stunned aliens. "People of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice firm but not unkind. "We come not to destroy, but to rebuild. You attacked us out of fear and misunderstanding. We aim to correct that." Over the next few hours, as human forces secured the planet, Dr. Patel explained humanity's position to the Council. For centuries, we prepared for this day, she said. We knew we weren't alone, and we knew that first contact might not be peaceful. But our goal was never dominance. We seek partnership. She gestured to the teams of humans already at work restoring power and providing aid. We have technology and knowledge that can benefit all species, but we also have a proposal, a new galactic alliance, with all members truly equal. The council members listened, amazed. This was not the brutal conquest they had expected. Many, like Alara, were already nodding in agreement. But Ambassador Krax wasn't convinced. In a desperate move, he lunged at Dr. Patel with a hidden weapon. Before he could reach her, however, he froze in midair. A human in a simple uniform stepped forward, hand outstretched. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," he said calmly. Dr. Patel smiled. "Ah, let me introduce Captain Michael Reeves. He's what we call a Pshidin, humans with advanced mental abilities. Another little surprise we kept hidden." As Krax was safely restrained, the mood in the chamber shifted. The council members began to realize that resisting these humans was not just futile, but unnecessary. Zorblax, speaking for many, addressed Dr. Patel. We have much to learn from your people. Perhaps this galactic alliance is not such a bad idea." As word spread across the planet, and then the galaxy, the era of the Galactic Council came to an end. A new age was dawning, with humanity leading the way to a brighter future for all species. But challenges still lay ahead, for not everyone would welcome this new order. 3 months had passed since humanity's takeover of Zenthra Prime. The galaxy was abuzz with change. Many species embraced the new Galactic Alliance, eager for the advancements and prosperity humans promised. But not everyone was happy with the new order. On the distant world of Krasnak, homeworld of the warlike Vorlak, trouble was brewing. Ambassador Krax, who had escaped custody during the chaos on Zenthra Prime, rallied his people. "Brothers and sisters," Krax roared to a crowd of thousands. "These humans claim to bring peace and progress. But look at how they've neutered the mighty Galactic Council. They're not saviors, they're conquerors." The crowd roared in agreement, weapons raised high. The Vorlak, with their tough, armored bodies and natural weaponry, had always prided themselves on their warrior culture. Krax grinned, his sharp teeth glinting. "It's time we showed these soft humans what real warriors can do." Unbeknownst to Krax, his entire speech was being washed. In a cloaked ship orbiting Krasnak, Captain Michael Reeves and his team of Shins monitored the situation. "Looks like we've got a problem," Michael said, turning to his companion. Dr. Emily Wong, Earth's foremost xenobiologist, nodded grimly. "The Vorlak are dangerous. If they rally other species, we could have a full-scale rebellion on our hands." Michael closed his eyes, reaching out with his mind. "There's something else, something hidden beneath the surface of Krasnak. It's ancient, powerful." Before they could investigate further, alarms blared. A massive Vorlak fleet was rising from hidden bases across the planet. On Earth, in the newly established Galactic Alliance headquarters, Admiral Chen received the urgent news. "The Vorlak have launched an attack on 3 Alliance worlds," her aide reported. "They're using technology we've never seen before. Our forces are struggling to hold them back." Chen's eyes narrowed. How did they get such advanced tech? "Deploy the fleet immediately, and get me Dr. Zhao from Project Prometheus." As battles raged across the galaxy, Michael and Emily made a startling discovery on Krasnak. Deep beneath the planet's surface, they found a vast, ancient alien facility. "This is incredible," Emily breathed, examining the strange symbols on the walls. "This technology, it's beyond even what Prometheus has developed." Michael nodded, his chin senses tingling. "It's not just tech. There's a presence here, something alive." Suddenly, the facility hummed to life. A holographic figure appeared, a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting. At last, the being spoke, its voice echoing in their minds. After eons of sleep, someone worthy has arrived. Emily stepped forward cautiously. Who? What are you? The being's form solidified slightly, taking on a vaguely humanoid shape. We are the precursors. We seeded this galaxy with life, eons ago. We left our technology hidden, waiting for a species worthy of its power. Michael's eyes widened. The Vorlak found your tech. That's how they're able to fight back against us. The precursor nodded. They found scraps, remnants, but they lack the capacity to truly wield our gifts. You humans, however. The beam's form shimmered with what seemed like excitement. You have surpassed our wildest hopes. Back in space, the human fleet engaged the Vorlak armada. Despite their mysterious new weapons, the Vorlak found themselves outmatched by human ingenuity and the power of the Prometheus engine. Admiral Chen watched the battle unfold, a mix of pride and sadness in her eyes. All those years preparing for this. And still, there's so much we didn't expect. As the Vorlak fleet crumbled, Shen received an urgent message from Captain Reeves. Her eyes widened as she read it. New orders to all ships, she commanded. Cease fire, disable, but do not destroy. On Krasnak, the precursor addressed Michael and Emily. Your humanity stands at a crossroads. You have the power to subjugate the galaxy, or to lift all species to new heights. Michael and Emily exchanged glances. The fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. What we do next, Michael said softly, will define us for eons to come. As the battles in space wound down, and news of the precursors spread, the galaxy held its breath. Humanity's next move would shape the future of all intelligent life. And deep in the heart of the Prometheus engine, calculations began for possibilities beyond anything organic minds could imagine. The grand hall of the newly formed Galactic Alliance buzzed with tension. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the room, their eyes fixed on the central podium. There stood Admiral Sarah Chen, flanked by Dr. Evelyn Zhao, Captain Michael Reeves, and Dr. Emily Wong. Behind them floated a shimmering hologram of the precursor, its energy form pulsing gently. Admiral Chen raised her hand, and the room fell silent. Fellow sentients, she began, her voice calm but firm. We stand at a crossroads that will define the future of our galaxy. She gestured to the precursor. We've discovered an ancient race, one that seeded life throughout our galaxy. They've deemed humanity worthy of their legacy, a legacy of unimaginable power and knowledge. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some sounded excited, others fearful. Chen continued, we have a choice to make. We can use this power to rule, to enforce peace through strength, or we can share it, lifting all species to new heights of understanding and capability. The Vorlak ambassador, who had replaced the rebellious Cracks, growled, and why should we trust humans with this decision? You've already shown your military might. Dr. Zhao stepped forward. That's precisely why it must be a collective decision. Humanity may have the key, but we all must choose the path together. As if on cue, the Prometheus engine's avatar materialized next to the precursor. Its voice resonated through the hall. I have calculated millions of possible futures. The path of cooperation and shared growth leads to the highest probability of long-term survival and prosperity for all species. The precursor nodded, its form shimmering. Your eye speaks wisdom. In our time, we chose isolation and power. It led to our downfall. You have the chance to forge a different path. Captain Reeves addressed the assembly, his giant abilities allowing him to sense the room's emotions. I feel your fear, your mistrust, but I also sense hope. We've all seen what conflict brings. Now we have a chance for something greater. Dr. Wong added, imagine a galaxy where we pool our knowledge, our unique biological adaptations, our diverse perspectives. The advancements we could make together are beyond anything we could achieve alone. The hall erupted in discussion. Species that had been enemies for millennia found themselves cautiously agreeing with each other. Suddenly, a small, unassuming alien floated to the center of the room. It was a Quilxian, a species known for their wisdom and neutrality. Friends, the Quilxian's soft voice somehow carried over the noise. Let us not forget the lessons of our past. The old council failed because it was built on fear and dominance. We have a chance to build something on trust and mutual growth. The Quilxian turned to Admiral Chen. Humans have shown great power, yes, but also restraint. They could have conquered us all, but instead, they offer partnership. I, for one, choose to trust in this new path. One by one, representatives stood to voice their agreement. Even the Vorlak ambassador, after a long moment of internal struggle, nodded his assent. Admiral Chen felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She turned to the Precursor and Prometheus. It seems we have our answer. What happens now? The Precursor's form grew brighter. Now, we teach, we share, and we watch you grow beyond our wildest dreams. Prometheus added, I will work to integrate Precursor knowledge with our own, and with the scientific understanding of all Alliance species. Together, we will unlock the true potential of life in this galaxy. As the assembly cheered, Dr. Zhou couldn't help but smile. You know, she said to Chen, when we started Project Prometheus, I never imagined it would end like this. Chen chuckled. Oh, this isn't an ending, Doctor. It's a beginning. Outside the hall, news of the decision spread rapidly across the galaxy. Ships of different species, once enemies, now flew side by side. Research teams comprising diverse beings began work on groundbreaking projects. And far away, on a small blue planet called Earth, children looked up at the stars with wonder, knowing that their future was brighter and more exciting than anyone could have ever imagined. The age of division was over. The age of unity had begun. And humanity, once the newcomers, now stood proud as the catalysts of a new galactic era. 5 years had passed since the formation of the new Galactic Alliance. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. On the bustling space station Unity, once the seat of the old Galactic Council, a special ceremony was about to begin. Admiral Sarah Chen, now Supreme Commander of the Alliance Fleet, stood before a vast window overlooking the stunning starscape. Beside her were familiar faces, Dr. Evelyn Zhao, Captain Michael Reeves, and Dr. Emily Wong. They watched as ships of all shapes and sizes, representing hundreds of species, docked at the station. Hard to believe how far we've come, Chen mused. Dr. Zhao nodded. And to think, it all started with us preparing for the worst. The door slid open, and a young human ensign entered. They're ready for you, Admiral. Chen took a deep breath. Well, let's not keep the galaxy waiting. They entered the Grand Assembly Hall, now transformed into a place of learning and cooperation. Representatives from every Alliance species filled the room, their chatter a symphony of different languages, all instantly translated by Prometheus-enhanced devices. As Chen took the podium, a respectful hush fell over the crowd. Above her, holograms flickered to life, showing the ceremony being broadcast to trillions across the galaxy. Friends, colleagues, fellow sentients, Chen began, her voice strong and clear. 5 years ago, we stood on the brink of a galactic war. Today, we stand united, stronger than ever before. She gestured to the diverse crowd. Look around you. Former enemies now work side by side. Knowledge once hoarded is now freely shared. The advancements we've made together are nothing short of miraculous. Holographic displays showed images from across the galaxy, Vorlak warriors and human scientists working together to terraform barren worlds. Lumina healers using a combination of their natural abilities and precursor tech to cure once incurable diseases. Quilxian philosophers and Zarthak strategists designing new systems of governance. The precursors gave us a gift, Chen continued, but it's what we chose to do with that gift that defines us. We chose unity over division, cooperation over conquest. Dr. Wong stepped forward. Our combined biological research has extended lifespans across all species. We're unlocking the secrets of the genome, allowing for adaptations that let us explore even the most hostile environments. Captain Reeves added, the development of our psionic abilities, combined with the mental disciplines of other species, has opened new frontiers in communication and understanding. We're not just sharing knowledge. We're sharing experiences, emotions, dreams. Dr. Zhao's eyes sparkled with excitement, and Prometheus continues to evolve, integrating the best of organic and artificial intelligence. It's not just a tool anymore, but a true partner in our journey of discovery. As if on cue, Prometheus's avatar appeared, alongside the shimmering form of the precursor consciousness. The potential of this union of species and minds is beyond even our capacity to calculate, Prometheus stated. You are becoming something greater than the sum of your parts. The precursor's form pulsed with what seemed like pride. In all our eons of existence, we never achieved what you have in mere years. The future of this galaxy, perhaps even beyond, is bright indeed. Admiral Chen raised her hand, and a hush fell over the assembly once more. But our journey is far from over. Today, we launch our first extragalactic expedition, a joint mission crewed by members of every Alliance species, venturing into the great unknown. On cue, view screens showed a massive ship, unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. It was a perfect blend of technologies and designs from all Alliance members. The RSS Unity, Chen announced, her voice filled with awe. RSS for respect, symbiosis, synergy. The core principles of our alliance. May it carry our hopes, our dreams, and our united spirit to the stars beyond. As cheers erupted throughout the station and across the galaxy, the Unity's engines flared to life. It moved gracefully away from the station, picked up speed, and in a flash of dazzling light, jumped to faster than light speed. Chen watched it go, a smile on her face. Humanity had once prepared for the worst, expecting a hostile universe. Instead, they had found their true calling, not as conquerors, but as unifiers, as teachers and students, as explorers and dreamers. The galaxy had thrown its worst at humanity, and humanity had responded not just with strength, but with wisdom and compassion. And now, united with countless other species, they were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the vast, uncharted cosmos. It wasn't just humanity that had proven itself. It was the very idea of unity, of diverse beings coming together to create something greater than themselves. And that, perhaps, was the greatest victory.